AskReddit by Krebs to 10,000. What is something you used to strongly believe that you don't anymore? If something was inherently bad, people would reject it over time and it would disappear. Turns out people as a whole make terrible, short-sighted decisions for their immediate comfort. A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. Also, for once, a line in a Hollywood movie that sounds better in my mother tongue. That our leaders were smart. I used to think most people were above average intelligence, now I know that it isn't true, lol. Studying hard and getting a degree will get you a well-paying job. That was my plan. I got a degree. Just having a degree very much helped me get my good-paying job I have now, but it is no way related to my field of study. Fine with me. That degree paid for itself in the first half year of this job. Honesty is the best policy. As I'm getting older, one of the main things I'm realizing is how important it is to lie sometimes. You will get repeatedly fucked over for telling the truth. Jobs, apartments, etc. But it's hard to learn to stop feeling guilty about it. Good things happen to good people. Just world fallacy. That intelligence is worth something on its own, i.e. without discipline, focus, etc. That the internet and free flow of information would bring positive changes to the world, reduce poverty, promote global cooperation and advance society on a global scale. Now I think it's being exploited by those who are hungry for money and or power. You need critical thinking skills, so much false or disinformation out there. I used to believe that most people were good. Understandable, but I feel like this idea stems from the fact that while fewer in number, evil people hold an overwhelming amount of power influence compared to the majority of people who are to varying degrees, good people. With this being the case, it's really easy to view most as morally corrupted people, as society can often be shaped by worse people. Additionally, many individuals who commit crimes, generally those seeking monetary gain, might not do said crimes if their material conditions were better. And in many places, like America, more evil people like lobbyists, politicians, corporate execs, etc. restrict avenues towards happiness for most lay people. If the morally corrupt few didn't perpetuate these poor conditions, we would no doubt see a society with a lot more moral virtue. That equal justice under the law was real. Rules for thee but not for me. I used to watch those how to be confident in 5 steps videos, which took me inevitably into the how to get girls section of the internet. Made me victimize myself as a male and blame women plus the expectations of society for my lack of self-worth. Eventually talking to women and hearing out their povs and experiences made me reevaluate my thoughts, which tbh had just been me repeating what I'd heard in those videos. They weren't really strongly held beliefs of my own. Congrats on breaking out of that echo chamber spiral. I hope you're doing well plus. That your life is over if you don't go to college. Pretty much life is over if you go to college nowadays. Leaves you in debt forever. That hard work equals success. In George Monbiot's words, if hard work made you rich, African women would be the richest people in the world. That everyone at church are all friendly people with good intentions. Learned that the hard way, especially as my first job. What goes on behind the scenes is a 180 from Sunday morning. That I could make everyone happy including myself. I used to be a bit of a war hawk. I still believe in a strong military, but I now believe war is a racket. It's a racket, and it's a racket you can't hustle without turning your soldiers into broken shells of human beings, who either don't believe the folks they are killing without hesitation really count as human beings, or just don't care. That most people at least had a bare minimum of ethics, morals and empathy, but anything goes and people would rather look the other way. This one for me was definitely an eye-opener in early adulthood lol. That politicians cared about their country. They once did before, but without term limits and allowing so much lobbying money, they no longer go home after a couple years with no pay back to the regular Main Street living with the repercussions of their votes. That's how our founding fathers intended. Serving was to be a sacrifice, now it's a cash cow and all about dividing us to keep them in power. I am willing to be the tech expert for my entire family. Felt that. People's inherent goodness. That I would go to hell for swearing. My mother told me when I was about 5 years old that every swear I said in life would result in 1,000 years in hell being poked repeatedly in the eyes. That HR is there to help the employees. That the free market would naturally correct unethical behavior. Kinda the opposite. That I could trust the government. If you did good things happen to you. If you do bad things, then bad things would happen to you. Turns out that was a bunch of bullshit. That everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is simply that I'm an idiot.